Well, good morning. I'm a little early. My name is Aaron Sear, and I'm sitting here bringing some information that I have, so that the people that are inquiring will have a little bit of knowledge. And anything that I bring forth, you guys can ask me for it. I can submit it. I can give it to you, give you a copy. None of this is made up. I have it, other than one thing, and we'll get to that in a minute. But anyhow, first question I was asked had to do with the petitions, and people don't understand why there's two of them. So what I'd like to explain is one petition is written to the Board of Selectmen. See, what happens is we elect the Board of Selectmen, and they're supposed to represent us and make decisions, sometimes tough decisions, on behalf of the citizens. So when they put their name, or when your name is put to run for public office, there's an oath that you take to uphold. And one of those things, especially as a town selectman, is it's an overseer of the poor. Now, I don't want to pass judgment or be condescending or belittling. That term means that they're looking out for us. It doesn't mean to keep us poor. So I don't know if there's a misunderstanding on that wording, that some people look at that and potentially think, this is just a way to keep everybody poor. I don't know. Play with words. Anyhow, going back to the petitions, Board of Selectmen will get a copy. And it's the taxpayers asking them to put this, the ones that elected them, asking them to put this forth, these articles, in a public meeting. It's up to the board to decide whether or not they want to do this. If they decide not to do this and put these articles, these questions that I had read off at the town, at the meeting, the informational meeting, the first one was termination of the Madawaska Town Manager, Gary M. Picard, for neglect of his fiduciary duties. 2 is to immediately suspend all duties performed by Dana Alejandro, Finance Director. And 3 is an independent audit of the town of Madawaska's last 2 fiscal years. Now, there's a reason why that these are worded the way that they're worded. And I did reach out to individuals that that understand how this works. And they assisted me in wording this the way that it's worded. Now, I had people ask me why I'm asking for the termination of the finance director. I'm not asking for the termination of the finance director, but if anybody pays attention, I was sure to point out the title finance director. As for the first one, with the town manager's neglect of fiduciary duties. Now, the second petition is addressed to the notary public, which is the town clerk. If the board decides that they don't want to bring this to a town meeting for a vote, let's say it just dies because they don't want to do it, then we can bypass the board by taking the other set of signatures, the identical ones, because they're both the same, and submit that to the town clerk. And then the town clerk calls a town meeting, which bypasses the board. This is the provision that I was talking about. Now, one of the things that people run into a problem with is they don't understand, and I'm not saying this that people are ignorant. All I'm saying is that we've been led to believe that you go to the board and the board takes care of everything. The reason that provision is there is that it's to keep the board in check. In other words, if there's a misuse and abuse of power, let's say, well, perfect example. Look at our budget right now, okay? The taxes are going up and everybody's pushing the buck. Nobody wants to take responsibility for it. Well, if we're just going to get there and go to a meeting and talk to the board, and the board spokesman says, the board heard what you said, we're going to take that into consideration, yada, yada, yada. There's no accountability. There's none. It's just words. This provision gives us, the people, the taxpayers, the ability to hold them accountable. So that's what these two petitions are for. Now, I also had mentioned a letter of intent to recall town selectmen. And I was pretty straightforward. There was no mincing of words. And some felt that I was hostile towards Mr. Chassis. And it's not Mr. Chassis particularly that it's the position, because there are rules and guidelines that need to be adhered to, that need to be followed, just like a speed limit. Any rule that you could think of that you, on your day-to-day basis, apply to your life as a citizen, as a parent, as just a human being. There are rules that we abide by. And the same applies for positions. And there's a reason why those rules are there, is so there is no misuse and abuse of power. And I had, as well as others, brought up the fact that there was a conflict of interest. And it's there, it's black and white. People want facts. You can't get better facts than what the state statute says. And I'll just leave it at that. Now, a letter of intent, because he's an elected official, there's a different process that takes place, similar to the petitions. I take that letter, fill it out, bring it to the town clerk. She has X amount of days. I say she because our town clerk is female. Town clerk has X amount of days to provide the petitions to have said board member removed. At that point, I'll have petitions in hand. And once again, I will be asking for signatures. Whether or not people want to sign, that's up to them. But with enough signatures, because the petition was sent to her, she's going to call a special town meeting. Or it may be brought up at a regular town meeting. Who knows, whichever comes first. At that point, there's going to be a town meeting, and we will vote to have him removed. Yay or nay? Petitions is based off of the amount of people that voted in the last gubernatorial election, which was 2016. 2016. There was about roughly 1,800 people that voted. The reason why I'm going for a number of 225 signatures plus is there's no cap to how many you need when it comes to this. The more people that we can get involved in our local community, the better. I had a conversation this morning with a gentleman, and he was like, "Oh, I don't like getting involved with politics." And so I looked at him and I said, I just got a quick question. You don't want to get involved in politics. I respect that. Taxes going up, what does that have to do with politics? The elderly people that have escrow accounts, heck, a lot of people have escrow accounts to pay their taxes at the end of the year. The bank takes out so much every month throughout the year to meet the demand for taxes at the end of the year. People that are locked in for oil, people that are locked into all kinds of different things are financially strapped because prices of everything's going up. How is that politics? Wanting to be involved in not getting duped or having more money pulled out of your pocket, that's not politics. That's living. And if people are tired of the same old same going all the time, I'm not telling you what you need to do, but there's a thing called civic duty. And civic duty means to be proactive in how things affect you and others around you. After I explain it like that, or not explained it, but painted a different perspective of it, I think he understood what I meant. Our biggest population is the elderly. The elderly people that are in the nursing home or assisted living centers, they can't always make it to these meetings. And I know young people, 18, 19, to gosh knows, who knows. But there's so many people that look at the national stage and they watch TV and they're disgusted, just as I am, with everything that goes on. All it is bashing this one, bashing that one, back and forth, right? But if we look at the national platform and we're concentrated there, we are getting hammered right here. Yes, there are decisions that are being made in DC and in Augusta and this and that. This is Madawaska. This is not DC. This is not Augusta. This is nowhere else. It's Madawaska. If you live here, care. Care. Please show up. If you want to go to a town meeting and you don't know if you're registered, you don't have to go to the town. Where you go to register is the town office to be able to vote. If you're a resident of this town and you want your voice heard, go to the town office and register to be a voter. You don't have to pick a political party. You can pick unaffiliated. I think that's what it's called. But you don't have to pick a party. That way you don't get all the junk mail in the mail, all the flyers for campaigns and all. You don't get any of that. But you can show up to a town meeting and you can raise your hand, yay or nay. It's that simple. Yes, it may be a little bit of an inconvenience, but think of this. All these special town meetings that we had, I think of the guys at the paper mill. They have no way, because those meetings are always held right in that gap where the mill, one shift is leaving and one is coming in. Do you think those guys have a chance in being able to have their voices heard? They're the ones punching in there, working a 12-hour shift or 10, 12-hour shift, depending on what they do. They punch in that clock and their taxes are going up. Their employer is being taxed. Now, to switch gears a little bit, I was asked yesterday if I can find out where the $3 million went that's missing from the undesignated funds account at the town office. Because there was a lady who stood up and asked, and it's the buzz of the town. Everybody wants to know. So I reached out to somebody who I trust, like really trust. See, because a lot of individuals are asking me for information. And the problem is if I divulge everything that I know and everything that's being done, this gives individuals that are in the wrong a chance to backpedal and try to CYA, cover your, A. So I'm very selective as to what I say. It's not that I'm trying to be shady or I'm trying to be dishonest or I just won't answer. So anyhow, this individual got back to me last night and I asked them, because if we go back to question 3, an independent audit of the town of Madawaska's last 2 fiscal years, right? If you guys watch that video of the town meeting, the spokesman said the town gets an audit every year. And I agreed with I agreed with that. And it goes to the board. That's right. Now, I'm not planning on reading many things off of a piece of paper here, okay? But I got a message last night. People wanted to know where the $3 million went. Now, we had, I'm probably going to butcher her name, our old town manager, Christina, I think her name was. When she left, we had a $3 million surplus in the undesignated fund, okay? So I asked this person to do a little research for me. And this is the response that I got. I searched the annual audits by towns on maine.gov. Annual audits report. It went to Madawaska. R.H.R. Smith auditing firm. They're the ones that do the auditing. The only 1 year that does not have a management letter or a summary letter is the year of 2015. Interesting. I suggest that you file a Freedom of Information Act and ask for that letter. Now, why is that one letter missing and there's no other letter missing of any other audit? I'd like to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Because the summary is very important. And I find it extremely odd that the year that the $3 million was spent, wasted, happens the same year that we don't have a summary letter or a management letter. Call me crazy. But if I had something to hide and somebody did an evaluation on my performance and I did a really crappy job, or I was dishonest, or I potentially did something illegal, if I had that evaluation come to me with a summary and I was scared because I knew I did something wrong. Now, I'm not saying that I would do something like this, okay? I'm not like that. But let's just entertain me. I'm not trying to form a conspiracy here. But the fact is you can go to this website and look. That form is missing. Why? What is being hidden from us? You want to know where the $3 million went? I have a very, very, very strong feeling that that's where the money started hemorrhaging. So with that information, I informed some other individuals who are very interested as well, because that same management style got promoted. So if you look at how our town is going down the drains, and this individual had an evaluation that basically pointed out to them that they had mismanaged and not done their job properly. Now they got a bigger wallet to play with. They got a bigger checkbook to write checks from. You think Madawaska's pissed? Screw with the county. And we're mocked. We're laughed at. It's sad. It really is. because now we're $1 million short. And this whole thing about blaming the mill. I'm actively looking to form a small group of influential individuals. See, I'm not a business savvy person, so I'm learning as I go. And I find myself very fortunate that I have individuals that are willing to step out and assist me, point me in the right direction, draft things in the right way. See, I'm the type of person that if I learn how to do something once, that's it. I have a hard time reading on how to do it, but if somebody can show me how to do it, that's it. I got it. So I'm learning. I'm learning as I go. The reason for, okay, I know this, I didn't want this to be super long. It was supposed to just be informational, but I'm just giving you guys the angle as to where I'm coming from, so that there's people don't think, oh, he's just sitting on his hands, he's not doing anything. Look, right now I have a handful of people going around with petitions, getting signatures. There's no time limit on collecting those signatures. There will be one when it comes time, once the letter of intent is submitted. I have that being, Secretary of State's helping me with that. Anyhow, well, not helping me with it, but to get the form so I get it done properly. See, because how this system works is if you have something worded wrong, they'll like push it along, and then a month down the road, they're like, oh, by the way, you're missing a period here, or you're missing an exclamation. Oh, you didn't write it in the right format. I want everything to be done to the T, every I dotted, every T crossed, because once this gets going, there's no stopping it. There's no stopping. This is why we need to show up. This is why we need to get together. I don't care if you don't like your neighbor from 20 years ago because they called you a name, or because your cousin's mother's father's sister's brother had an accident with somebody who wasn't paying attention, or somebody's dog is taking a dump on you. Who cares? Who cares? Because it's affecting everybody. It's affecting everybody. And all I want to do is do this the right way and push it. That's it. Going back to number 1, termination of the town manager. Now, for those of you who don't know, the town manager, the word manager means he oversees the town. He oversees the town office. Manager, okay? What they've done at the Madawaska Town office is they've hold on, I'll get it. It's a long word. Compartmentalized by creating a bunch of department heads. And by doing that, the town manager allocates or designates or passes down jobs that he should be doing to them and relies on them to get him the numbers. So that's why when we go to a town meeting and somebody asks a question that the town manager is supposed to know, numbers, I'll have to get back to you on that. I don't know. Plausible deniability. Ignorance by design. Because that way it forces you to go to the town office and you get the smoke blown at you because that's what they want you to hear. If you can go to the town office and get a straight answer. Okay, that's the other thing. Go to the town office and try to set up a meeting. I'll go ask the town manager a question. Good luck. He's always in a meeting. He's too busy. Come get the facts. I was told that straight to my face. If you have questions, come see me. Come get the facts. With a, anyhow, I'll be nice. So he is also the treasurer. He's the one that signs the checks. Okay? He's the one that's supposed to balance our budget. He's supposed to hold all these different departments accountable for their spending. We're going up by $3 million. How is he not doing his job? Ask yourself that question. Think of that. And he's going to get there and blame these other departments for not doing their, oh, well, the numbers came in wrong. You know what? Ultimately, he is responsible. Everything falls on his shoulders. Everything. The overspending, the allowing to overspend, all of that falls on the town manager's shoulders. He has not done his job. He needs to be fired. Period. There's no business in this town that if you were going to get there and spend that much money and be in the red that much, that you'd keep your flipping job. Get out. Clean house. It is disgusting. And to drive around and think you're somebody while you're screwing everybody in this town? No. And there's going to be more petitions coming. Unless this board is willing to listen to what the people have to say, and believe me, there's a couple on that board that need to go. That's my opinion. There's only one that interacts with the public right now. And I have a lot of respect for this individual. I just hope this individual learns the ropes quick and can stand their ground. Not to be biased, but just hear me out. There's a lot of hunters out there, right? If you come across cubs when you're hunting in the spring, are you worried about a male bear coming after you? No, you're worried about the mama bear coming after you, right? All I'm saying is maybe the reason why the old town manager that we had, Christina, was run out of town is because nobody could BS her. She had the numbers down. She left our town with a $3 million surplus. That's because she did her job. And because she did her job so well, now I don't know all the ins and outs. I'm looking at bottom line. I'm looking, did this individual have my best interest and my children's best interest? Did she have the best interest of the community? $3 million in the black and being forced out? I would say she pissed off a lot of people because they wanted a checkbook, because they saw money in the savings. They got together and booted her, found some excuse. Whether it was valid, legal, I don't know. To me, I'm just looking at the results. We want results. I think it's time for the she-bears to come out. I know it's wintertime, it's supposed to be hibernating. I think the mums need to come out. Learn the game, learn the process. Because I'll tell you right now, at the rate things are going, you think this is bad? Guarantee you, I'd sign it right now, guarantee you, next year, taxes go up again if these same idiots are left at the wheel. And I know I'm name calling, but I'll tell you what, a $3 million increase in taxes, you got to be an idiot to screw that up. There's a big difference between how the military runs things and the civilian world runs things. In the military, we had something called accountability. In the civilian world, I don't even know what it's called. There's no way in the world if I ever got an eval like that, with a negative like that, holy crap. Anyhow, that's about it for right now. I might have forgot something, but I'll be doing this again. I'll be letting you guys know when I have the letter of intent and I'm getting ready to go drop it. And I'm going to reach out for signatures again. I'm going to do it over this platform. We need young people. If you're 18 and you're tired of nothing being here, I know right now there's nothing we can do about this 3 mil thing. Okay? I was at that town meeting. If you go back to the town meeting, I was at the high school, and I think it was Gary Dufour when they had asked to raise the cap, and he had asked the question, and Gary got up. The town manager got up. Gary Dufour was the one that asked the question. Town manager is the one that answered him, and said that the cap was, we were 11%, and he gave all these fancy numbers. The guy is the best smoke blower I've ever met. Anyhow, what it boiled down to was Gary Dufour got around to asking, well, how does this affect us in the mill rate? And Gary just kind of looked over at the board, and then he came back, and Gary Dufour asked him again, well, how much are our taxes going to go up? And you know what he told him? $500,000. And then they got that passed with no absolute answer, just the town manager's response that we could expect the taxes to go up by $500,000. Now, I don't know if this guy can count or if he knows what a ratio is, but by telling the public that you can expect a $500,000 increase and then slam them with a $3 million increase, tell me, who's dishonest? Who's misinformed? Who's not doing their job? Who's lying? Or are you lying? Or is that a half-truth? Or what is it? It's a pile of crap is what it is. That's selling us. That's selling our kids. Because to me, it's all about our kids. And I just want to throw a shout out to the superintendent for being there the other night. Should have been able to do a mic drop after she said what she said. That would have been epic. Because a lot of the younger kids would have understood what she did if she would have done that. Because for the longest time, the town's been pitted against the school department, or vice versa, or whatever. But when 41% of our taxes are paying for our children's future, it doesn't give the green light to the town to strip that. You guys want to play hardball? We can play hardball. The town, the board, you guys work for us. You do. You may have a title. You may have secret meetings. You may have executive meetings, this and that. If you don't work for us, get out. Point blank. You don't want to do your job? I don't care if you say, I've never done this before, I don't know what to do. Inform yourself or don't apply for the job. Period. It's pretty freaking simple. Don't pretend you know what you're doing and allow some buffoon who's been there for God knows how long, probably since I was in diapers. Clean it out. We're done with your nonsense. Provisions. Ways to allow the people to be who they are. We're the ones with the voice. They don't do their job, we fire them. It literally is that easy. So, in closing, try to keep everything. I don't want to get too animated because this stuff just drives me nuts. Anyhow, if you haven't subscribed to the group page, the other main Madawaska group, I think it's called. I'm not Facebook savvy at all, so I have somebody else who's helping me out. I didn't even know how to send a link to somebody the other day, and I sent the message, said, "Hey, sorry, how do I send a message with a link in it?" Subscribe, and I will be setting up a time. I asked the proprietor of Main Street Bakery if she would allow me to sit here for a couple hours, a few days, so people can come here and sign the petition. People need to stop being scared of being seen in public or standing up for what you believe in. Stand up. Think of it this way. If you don't sign and you want things to change, it doesn't have to be this petition. Go register to vote. If you guys are scared to go to a town meeting and there's a hairy or hold on, I'm trying to think of the word, controversial type of vote that needs to be done, and you don't want to see your hand raised, guess what? It's called file a motion for secret ballot. That's it. You go up, you write whatever, put it in the box, and at the end they count it and they get a total. Nobody knows who voted what. That simple. Now, that's for big votes. But when it comes to showing up and voting, let's say if this one acts to go through and we need to get rid of the town manager and we need to temporarily suspend the title financial director. See, because that individual actually is not an actual director. That individual is the one, from my understanding, and forgive me, I may be wrong, but sends out the sewer bills and other bills. It's not an actual director in the sense of running a massive department. But with that title comes more pay. So we're paying people for titles, not for the work being performed, which goes back to the town manager who got a $14,000 pay raise because somebody else got a raise. But we are a $3 million increase in tax. So we're paying this guy to screw us. Isn't it amazing? Oh, I love this. Anyhow, so this is it for now. And if anybody wants to help pass out petitions real quick, and I'll be done, I swear. When you have the petitions and you are the witness of those petitions, when it comes time to go to the town office, we go together. They'll all come in together at the same time because the circulator has to sign it. Well, the name of the circulator, and you sign it in front of the clerk. And then you're validating that you were the one there to collect those signatures. So if you want to sign, let's see, I'll make a time now. I had to remember. Sure, the proprietor reminded me because I always come here I'm always here on Mondays and they're closed. I come here to get my coffee and it's like, whoops, gone. So today is Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Let's go for Friday. I will be here at the bakery with petitions in hand. What's a good time? Okay, so people go to lunch, let's say at 11. I will be here from 10 to 1. Yeah, from 10 o'clock in the morning till 1 in the afternoon on Friday morning. Wait, is it Black Friday's after Thanksgiving? No one's going to be available. Hold on. let me back up. Okay, let's do Saturday. Yeah, because Black Friday, well, okay, I'll be nice. So Saturday, the 27, today's Wednesday? Saturday, call it in, hold on. I need my calculator, not calculator, calendar. Okay, so the 30th. The 30th of November, I will be at the bakery, Main Street Bakery, from 10 to 1. 30th November, 10 to 1, to collect signatures for the first 2 petitions. And then if I don't meet the goal that I'm looking for 225 signatures. If we go over that, that's great. I could don't worry, got it covered. But when it comes to the other one, I'll make a post. But subscribe to the Facebook page. Invite your friends. Doesn't matter if they're in a different town or whatever, so they can see how this process works. Information is power, and there's power in numbers. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful afternoon.